ladies and gentlemen, welcome to All Things Events. Welcome to All Things Events. This is the People's and Vendors Hub, where our goal here is collaborating to create memorable experiences. Listen, I am so excited. It is our last episode of season 1. Can you imagine? We made it. Woo!
Let's go.
I won't lie. It hasn't been easy, but I'm grateful for the team behind this platform and the mission to impact vendors within the event space community so we can level up as our community. We have to level up. We have to change the narrative. And today I am so humbled to have a brother. All right. This brother has gone from, when they say grassroots, from the ground up,
Yeah.
and made his way up. And let me not just say him and his team. It's
Yes.
all about the team effort. They
Right.
have built and known to have one of the top, most elegant fundraisers in the DMV called Generosity Global. And Mission Ball is an annual event, and I'm so proud to be part of this, mission to give clean water to sub-Saharan Africa, Cameroon, Kenya, and so many other countries that are to come. But before I bring this brother on, which you can see him already, but just know that today we are talking about the give and take game, the logic behind successful events. Are you excited? Because I am excited. Okay, so please grant StreamYard permission. We are streaming live from Facebook. We're streaming live on our YouTube channel. And today, hello, hey, IG, we're also live as well.
What?
And yes,
Hey.
we're leveling up, brother. We got to level up,
Wow.
right?
Okay.
We got to level up.
Okay.
So please grant StreamYard permission so that you can be part of this show. So without any further ado, please help me welcome the CEO, and he really doesn't like titles, but this is my brother, Rich, and I call him Mr. All Is Well. Welcome to the show, brother. Welcome.
It is a pleasure, sis. About
Thank
time, man. I felt left out. I'm here. I'm here.
You know what, though? I won't lie. It's hard to get you men on here, but I'm glad you're here. And it's even more special that you are our last guest for season 1. And you came at the perfect time, because last week, man, it was a heated show. We talked about, collaborating within the event space community, and if we were ready as a community to level up. And sadly, we went through some key points, key principles, and sadly, we're not quite ready. But guess what?
Ready.
There is hope.
There is always hope. There's always hope.
There is hope. And I'm glad you're here. And today we just want to talk. We're talking everything. We're going all in.
Bring it.
We're going all in. We're going all in.
Our audience is in for a big treat today.
Yeah. Yes.
And I'm ready just to have an amazing comment. If you're listening in, make sure you are sharing. Make sure that you are sending in your questions. Let's have a community conversation about this. It's not about me. It's about let's all have a collective conversation.
Yes.
And let's build this thing. Let's go. I'm excited.
Let's go. Let's grow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us once more. I'm excited. It's your girl, MCJT. And listen, my brother is here. And Rich, one of the key questions, we're just going all in today, but one of the key questions, before holding every event is you want to know what is the nature of that event. Right now, we're talking event management. What are those key things that for a lot of people who aspire to have, organizations, great missions, Generosity Global has been doing this. Mission Ball, was it 9th year? We just had our ninth year in a row. And for the past 3 years, Mission Ball has brought in over 6 figures cash in one night. So
not like live money, true money.
There is something your team has figured out that I know so many others that aspire to have these type of events, this type of fundraisers at this level would like to know. So what are those key things that when you go into planning your yearly fundraiser, that you're like, okay, these are the key things and we must stick to these?
I mean, sis, like always when we go into, into this event, the mission is always like the big thing, right? What is our mission, right? I think when you have purpose, mission, and a vision, everything must align.
Mhm.
And so when you have that, the next big thing for me personally and our team is always the guest experience, right?
Absolutely.
I'm always focused on every single person that walks through that door. We want them to have the best experience possible. Do we achieve that all the time? No, but we damn near strive day in and day out, planning, going through every single obstacle, every planning stage, meeting with people to ensure that the experience for the guest leaves them wanting more, leaves them wanting to come back, leave them, attached to us as an organization and them wanting to be part of the bigger movement. So, um, you know, it's something that when you pull people in,
Mhm.
people are moved by the level. I mean, Joyce, you've been to Mission Ball events. This is,
Yes. Yes.
this is not just an event space, whatever hall. We go out.
Right.
We put some real money into it, and from decor to food to things, and trust me, I just made a post today saying that the mission board that I aspire to have, that we aspire to hope, hasn't even happened yet.
Wow.
Just because the levels are high. The levels are high. It has not even happened yet. But when it comes to that event, it's just having this desire to have um the most elegant,
Right.
the most luxurious, the very high experience, guest experience, and experiential event where people come in and they experiment and they experience greatness. you
Mm.
know and I think when you set your bar high, when you invest in the right things, the right places, the right vendors and all that stuff, it's all about greatness. And anybody that walks through the door, any vendor that comes in knows like the bar that we set as to what type of event we want to have.
Wow. Standards.
Standards.
Yes. I mean, I heard you talk, but everything that came to mind was standards. Day one.
Absolutely.
These standards have to be from day one throughout your events.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
And, I mean, you and your team do it so well. You do it so well. How are you and the team able to manage a successful fundraiser? When I say manage, I mean the day of. I know there's a lot of planning happening, but the day of, what are those key aspects that it must happen to
I
ensure that
mean,
the event is successful?
to host an event, to put together an event like Mission Ball, first off, requires a lot of time.
Absolutely.
At minimum, we need 6 months to plan that event, and and that entails so many different moving pieces,
Hmm.
from securing the right venue, the right hall,
Right.
sourcing the right vendors. Thankfully, over the last 2 or 3 years, we have put together a good team of people that I really believe that are the right people
Right.
to be part of this journey that we are on. People that really are connected to not just coming in to make money, but they really believe in the mission that we are on. They really
Absolutely.
believe in the water project. Joyce, yourself, you have served in the capacity of MC, generously, because you truly believe in the work that we are doing. When it comes to now simply, you know, organizing the event, you need a lot of coordination. You need a day of coordination. You need a person who's overseeing, vendors and making sure that all the vendors have what they need. Sometimes maybe insurance that is needed for the venue. Um, when it comes to food, let's not talk about insurance. We can go there, right? So, but let's not talk about that. But
We gotta go. Mhm.
when it comes to like, okay, food tasting, do we have the right, to keep in mind what is your demographic for your audience, right?
Absolutely.
We are Africans, yeah, and we want to put out that good African cuisine, but however, we cannot make it too spicy for a lot of people who cannot handle that. So
That's right.
you have to be very mindful of, the food. I've been to events where it's like, like literally, again, all I'm eating is chin chin. I'm like, really? That's it? No, I want to be able to give you a full course meal,
Right.
and complimentary drinks, all of those things, right? So it's sourcing your vendors, it's finding the venue, it's making sure that simultaneously marketing the event to stakeholders, to donors, to supporters. At the same time, trying to find the right keynote speaker.
Right.
At the same time, basically trying to get sponsorships, right? So there's so many moving pieces when it comes to putting together an event, but all this is happening in sequence. And then the day of, you essentially see 6 months at minimum come together in one night.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of visits to the venue, there's a lot of calls behind the scenes, there's a
Yeah.
lot of just back and forth. But the good thing is when you have worked with, and that's why I believe in building and forging relationships with people who get the vision and use them continuously, because now they understand my vision. They
Mm.
understand, what this room is supposed to look like, right? They
Absolutely.
understand what we are trying to accomplish. So it is now much, much, much easier for them to run with the vision.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. I mean, I know you didn't want to talk too much about insurance, but as vendors, especially our vendors, our decorators, that is another thing to keep in mind, because a lot of these venues out here are now requesting liability insurance, right? People want to hold someone liable if something happens. So just
Absolutely.
FYI, if you haven't thought about it, this is something to think about, especially if you want to get into the space of doing grand events.
Grand,
Yes,
grand, grand.
yes,
I mean, any vendor who's watching now, I don't care how small you are as a business, you think, make sure you have a bare minimum of commercial general liability insurance.
mm,
Carry that.
yes,
Make sure you have, even if it's a one-person operation, or maybe two people, just carry a workers' compensation policy.
right.
Because now a lot of venues they want to remove the risk of lawsuits from them. So they're
Absolutely.
putting it back on you as a vendor.
Mm,
And we faced, this is a very unique
yes,
circumstance this
yes.
past year where the venue that we hosted, Mission Ball, just wanted
Oh
everything
my
from
God.
commercial general liability from all of the vendors. Normally, I, as the host of the event, I'm able to submit my insurance and it covers everybody. But and then all the other vendors can bring in their general. But no, I say all this to say, you know, to run a good, efficient business, right? It is always good to have good business protection in place.
Absolutely.
And because at the end of the day, it only goes to protect you as a business owner. It only
Mm.
goes to protect your investment as uh, as a vendor. And there's nothing like sleeping peacefully at night. I just want to sleep at night.
And if I may add, I mean, Rich is meticulous. And when I say
Yes.
this brother, and this is a key point that I really want to encourage for a lot of those that have reached out to me about, hey, I would like to start an organization, I want to do great things, and blah blah. Listen, you have to be meticulous about following up, right? Communication. And I think that was one of the key principles from our conversation last week with our panel. Open communication. And you as a vendor, you have to be actively part of that group chat,
Yes.
right? You have to be
Absolutely.
checking frequently, because I will tell you that I was part of this group chat, but I really didn't need an insurance because I was one of the co-MCs. But it was like Rich was like, hey, Wanda, Creamy Creations, I need your stuff in the next hour, right now. I need you to send it to this email address right now. And the follow through was absolutely amazing. Efficient, it wasn't only effective, but it was efficient and things were getting done. Just imagine if you were that vendor that you're not paying attention and things are falling through the cracks. And here we are, after all this work.
The reality is, if you're that vendor, you're not going to work with me. Just straight up, right?
You
Because
will not be part of Mission Ball
you will not be part of
2023.
Mission Ball, anything that I do, just because, like you said, the communication and the follow-up and the trust, right?
Absolutely.
Because this is all part of building trust in these relationships that we are forging, right?
Yes.
I need to be able to trust you as a vendor that you have, what it takes to deliver on the services that I am hiring you for.
Absolutely. So we talked about event management. We're going to switch it up to vendor expectation. Some vendors are here. Let's see. Shout
vendors,
out.
Let's go.
Let's see. This is Patty Wilson. Patty is a decorator. Hey, darling. Thank you for joining us.
What's up, Patty?
Hey, Philly. Big Boss is in the building.
Boss.
CEO or Mamapreneur is here. Welcome, Queen. This sister, Chef Bianca, is killing it out here. She said, I got the highest liability catering, 2 million. Very important.
Good job, sis. Good job.
That is why she was one of our panel last week, and we had an amazing conversation. Hello, Philly. All right, we're gonna keep the ball rolling, Rich. So we want to move now into vendor expectations. What is your expectation with vendors within the Cameroonian event space, and how would you compare that to our counterparts? Because I know you've worked with some of our counterparts.
So
keep it real.
I mean, I'll keep it real.
Listen, we're here to change the narrative, but we got to talk.
Let me just say this: I do not accept any subpar services. And anybody who has worked with me in terms of if I'm paying you, all the vendors this year know that a check never bounced. I never got on any, I'm going to pay you 30 days later, or you just take this half. And no, I'm going to pay you the money. Right. What I expect in return, though, is great delivery, right? And, for a lot of vendors, especially in the African Cameroonian community, it's like, you are doing me a favor to hire you. No, that is not it. You're not doing me a favor, because if we are to really build a network that transcends greatness and it's able to really rival other nationalities when it comes to service, right. It really relies on us to bring our best to the table every day. Bring our best, literally, as a chef, I need you to know everything about, how to, set a table, how to keep the food warm, how to prep the meal, how to serve the meal, right? The etiquettes. As an event, production team, I need you to be able to source the equipments that you need. If you don't have it, how do you network with people? Obviously, from a liability standpoint, do you have the necessary insurance that is required of you to be able to be part of this event? The expectations for me is something that we, as I would say, just anybody who's looking to do an event, is have those discussions up front. If it requires you to write down every single thing that you are expecting of this person and have them sign, so be it. Gone are the days where we are doing, again, as I've been known by a lot of people to do business on a handshake just because I trust them, right? I don't need contracts. Joyce, I can call you up any day, like, sis, I need you.
Right.
You're gonna, you know what I need and all that stuff. We're not signing any contracts, but that's just between you. I know you, you know me, And there are a few vendors that I operate like that. But there are other vendors that if I don't know your style and I don't know you, obviously I'm going to put in my expectations in writing, so that way we have no confusion,
Absolutely.
as to what is expected of you and what is expected of me. Because not only the vendor has an expectation, not only I have an expectations of the vendor, but the vendor should have an expectation of me. What is the vision?
Mm,
What is your vision? Because I need you to be able to buy into my vision, right? And be able to see it clearly, so that way you can deliver on it. And sometimes it may need 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 phone calls, visits to the venue, all of those things for people to see the vision. But it is very, very important for us to set clear expectations in the very, very beginning.
mm. So when it comes to vendors, right, within our community, what do you believe is holding us back from really leveling up with our counterparts? From your experience working so many years.
Honestly, from what I have seen, it's just a lack of collaboration.
Mm,
That's one thing. People don't want to, everybody wants to be the big shark. Everybody wants to be the big deal. Everybody wants to, you know, um, have their flag and fly, which is cool. I understand. I respect your business, but there's power when we join hands and when we, come together and work as one, right?
yes.
We don't have to do it all. If you are a bar, let's just say you're a chef and you have, you know, um, an event that requires a bartender, and instead of you try to like last minute want to get an extra $500 to be a bartender, why not call somebody in your community, somebody in your network, somebody that you have seen? Maybe you attended an event and there was a Cameroonian person, and that person was really good at being bartender. Why not just place a call and say, you know what, I have this gig. They're not paying much, but I would really love to extend my network into your network. See, it's all about building
Yes.
networks,
Yes.
because the more you can build, the more people you can have as part of your team. Guess what? The more business you can earn.
Yes.
So collaboration is one of the biggest things that I see, Joyce. People don't want to work with others. There's too much competition. We don't need to compete. Why are
No,
we
you
competing?
don't.
What? You make your money, I'll make my money. Why
Listen,
are we competing?
the game, the world is too large for all of us.
It's
Like,
too large. Come on,
yes,
the DMV is too big of a space to compete,
absolutely.
to
Absolutely.
to speak bad of. They're like many MCs in the area, right? It's just
Yes.
about who fits my energy, who fits my vision, all those things. But
Yes.
we need to be able to collaborate, right? Honestly, we need to be able to share information.
Ooh,
People don't want to do that.
preach.
We need to be able to share resources.
Yes.
Um, if God be my witness, ask Free or Bodicor, she'll tell you I have said, if you need XYZ, I have a plug.
There you go. There you go. That's
If you
it.
need XYZ, I have a plug in India, in China that can, right?
Yes. Yes.
Cost me nothing. It makes her business better. It makes her be able to deliver a better service for me. At the end of the day, I was in that business at one point in time, still in, but that's not my focus. But if I can
Absolutely.
give you some nuggets, if I can give you some resources to make you better,
Why not?
why not?
We all win.
Look, that apple tree is gonna bear more apple fruits eventually.
There
Maybe
you
just
go,
more.
brother.
So don't
Preach.
be afraid to give 1 or 2 apples away. It's all good. You
Listen.
see, when you are,
Ooh.
let me say this, when you are, what's the word? When you're intimidated by greatness, when you're insecure about your product, when you're insecure about your service, all of that stuff, then you don't want to share. But when you're confident, obviously I'm not telling you to share like, top secrets. I'm not telling you to share like,
Absolutely.
but no, like literally public general information that can help somebody be better. Look, we all should take pride to want to help others rise.
Absolutely. Mm.
I don't know how others operate, but for me, if I can share some information today that is going to make somebody great tomorrow, let's do it.
Listen, let's do it. Let's just do it. Last week it was same topics, and we're gonna take a couple of comments here. Um, you know, Andine, who is our CEO of McBride Events, she said you need to write them down these days. Yes, you need to
Yes.
create that contract, review it, highlight it if you
Yeah,
need to. I'm totally with that.
absolutely.
Um, Patty said, right, absolutely. Hey, the people's GPS is here. Hey, fam,
All
welcome,
the way in
Linda.
Germany.
Okay. Let's see. Chef Bianca said that's why I tell vendors they need to take classes to upgrade your work and standards. Yes. Get the required licenses and document. Stand
Yeah.
out in the crowd, be different. Your
Yeah.
skill set should stand out. Absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
they should.
Let me add to again one more. I think we experienced that last year, right?
Mm.
I'm not gonna put
No
but
name calling, brother.
not but it dealt with the AV, the screens and everything. Like,
Right, right.
people
Very
just
true.
assume like, oh, just because it's a Cameroonian event or an African event, we're just gonna give you low quality.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
we need to get away from that mindset. Like, it's okay to be subpar. I think when we all put greatness in our mind, like we want to have the best events, we want to, wow every person that walks in the audience. I think we end up delivering. Um, it costs money. It
Sure.
costs money to have great stuff, to have good stuff, and unfortunately, sometimes, and I can see it from the vendor standpoint as well. Sometimes some people are not willing to pay that money, but I always say if you have great product, if you have absolutely amazing service, it's just like that same thing of, you know, if you want the best, you got to be willing to pay for the best.
Absolutely.
You got to be willing to pay, and sometimes you may not have it all in the beginning. I'll tell you this: um, our DJs from Mission Ball DJed for me as a gift, as their participation to the cause for 8 years without pay, but because they believed. And I kept
Absolutely.
telling them, trust me, trust me. This was the first year that I was able to pay them and pay them really good.
Wow.
So sometimes it requires just being, somebody who you say, you know what, I want to be with you on this journey.
Yes.
And once they buy into that vision, not everybody can do that. I understand. Not everybody can do that. I get it.
Yep.
But sometimes it may require you just basically maybe not taking all up front, but saying, I want to work with you. But let us work in full honesty,
Right.
in full transparency, in
Yes.
full openness. Let me see you where you are, and let me see you where you are, and say, where can we meet in the middle to make things happen, to make magic happen.
Absolutely. You know, uh, just to continue on, last week there was a question that came from the audience, and the question was, there seems to be a click within the event space. We would love to hear your thoughts on that. Do you feel as though there seems to be a click within the Cameroonian event space? And if so, how do we?
Honestly, Joe, I don't even pay attention.
Mm,
Um, I'm very sure there is. I'm very sure it is. But for me, I don't pay attention. You know, it 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 goes beyond the event space.
absolutely.
It goes to, let's just say the overall event attendance. It goes to overall support for one person and this person and this person and this. Yes, we cannot be at every single event, but at the end of the day, um, there will be people who will make every kind of excuse
Right.
or whatever, that I can't come to this event, but or maybe tickets are too high, but you see them on another stuff, right?
Right.
So all I'm trying to say is, like, when we develop the mindset of how can we best support each other, and know that there are challenges within that statement. It may be, in that time and space, somebody may not be in a financial position to support you.
That's true.
In that time or space, that person may not be in the physical position to support you, right? But how about let us, I'm just so big and like, don't laugh, don't say go bro in my face, and then you're talking shit behind my back. Excuse my French.
Yeah.
You're talking,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
behind my back. Like, no, we don't do that, because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna do that to somebody I consider a friend, right?
Absolutely.
Because the one goal for me to win, and I tell every single vendor, you were part of those conversations, is for us all to win,
Absolutely.
right? Once we have a successful mission ball or a successful event that I'm part of and you're part of, as long as we all win, that is what really matters.
Yes.
And if you can get 1 or 2 or 3 gigs and jobs because you were part of mission ball, now I know I did my part. It wasn't just a transactional relationship,
There you go.
right? It was more about a relationship where we care about each other and loving each other and support each other and push each other to be our very best.
Absolutely. Linda could have said it better. Authenticity. We have to
Absolutely.
be authentic in our relationship. And I also love the way you said it. It's not a transaction. It's building a relationship that goes far beyond this event. And I listen, I agree. I know a lot of comments are coming in. Chef Bianca said, "Thank you, sir, for that point. It costs money to get amazing services." Absolutely. Um,
Chef Bianca, let me tell you this. Sis, create your value, stand by your value, charge your value. At the
that's
end of
right.
the day, the right person, never devalue yourself. Obviously, how, what, how you're going to negotiate your price to make sure you're still within your value range.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
It may be your first, client who may not necessarily be able to afford X. Okay, so you may not afford it, but how can we work this down so you can afford Y? And it's still within your value range. I had a conversation with somebody, right? Never build whatever you're building, or your business on pricing, because anybody can be the lowest price.
Yes.
you know Build your business on value added. So
Yes.
if you hire me as a chef, these are the things that you're not going to have to worry about. If you hire me, you bring me as a event production team, this is the value that I bring to you. If you hire me as a day of coordinator, people have seen me run around. I'm still looking for the right event coordinator the day of, where it's like, I just want to. Do you know that for the
I
past
just want to ship a mission ball and enjoy mission ball, huh?
for the past how many mission balls I have, my wife and I have still not eaten. We don't
Listen,
eat,
I'm with you. I'm
right?
with you, brother. I'm
It's
with you.
like I just need somebody to take care of that day. But all that I am saying is, like, let us build a business on providing value. When
Absolutely.
you bring value to the table, somebody's gonna pay you handsomely for it.
Yes.
And your value is relative to you, right? And that's why I say, have a value range, not a price range, or value range,
Mhm.
where okay, this person is, you're gonna charge this. They may not even, but then you can take it to another package where you can still deliver value, but they're gonna pay you for that service that you deliver.
I love it. Have a value range and not a price range for your business. Whatever service you're providing, have a value range. So we're changing price to value, okay? Because it's time to level up. So, Rich, we're gonna talk about the give and take game. Woo! The give and take game. Personally, I feel like it's something that within the community we are still yet to understand. You
Yeah.
know, and I will let you start off this. Like that is the logic behind successful events, which so many of us, so many people still have to understand that. What exactly do you consider the give and take in the event space or in life in general? I mean, at this point, it's a life
I
thing,
mean,
but
it's a life thing. It's a principle of life. At the end of the
absolutely.
day, in any given day, we will find ourselves on either end. We can either be the givers or we can be the takers.
Absolutely.
That's just a principle of life. Now, when it comes to business and business relationships, that's why, again, I go back to building good, trusted partnerships, relationships,
Yes.
collaborations,
Yes.
because just like I referenced the DJs who have been able to give, and I've been Generosity Global has taken their generosity over the years. It's because that was built on trust. What I didn't tell you was like, was though they have performed for us, complimentary through those events, they've been able to land some big gigs.
Absolutely. Yep.
Right. So sometimes it's a matter of, do I have enough trust in you? And do you have enough trust in me? And say, look, if it's a money thing, let's have a conversation. Right? Let's have a discussion. Let's have an honest discussion. And will you be true to your word if you tell me that I don't have it right now, but maybe I can guarantee you that in 30 days or 45 days I have your money.
Mhm.
And I don't want you to come to me in day number 44 and say I'm gonna need another 45 days.
Right.
Or when it comes, day number 45, you just disappear and go cold turkey. But when it comes to like, giving and taking, like there's this exchange that happens in business where business owners, especially those who are trying to go higher, understand that there's gonna be a little bit of giving and taking,
Absolutely.
involved. But it's not to, for me, so that give and take always has to be a win-win, right? As
Right.
we give and as we take, we always have to create win-win results for everybody. And
Absolutely.
now, how do we accomplish that is really where I think a lot of people either fail or just lose on that completely, because they may not just have mastered the art of negotiating, putting up payment terms. And, frankly, some people may not be in a position to do that simply because they don't have the capacity nor the bandwidth to give and give and give. And the honest truth is there is a limit to your giving.
Speak.
The honest truth is there should be a limit to your giving, right?
Yes.
Because you cannot just keep give. We are running it's a business that we are running,
Absolutely,
right?
brother.
And
Yep.
so somebody who is cognizant, somebody who is aware, knows that I cannot just keep taking. Eventually the well is gonna run dry and you have nothing to take. And what I mean is you're taking has eventually bankrupt somebody's business because you've not paid them anything. You've not given them anything in return. You haven't blessed them,
Right.
but you're that big fat rich cow on the side where you're just, looking really rich. And this person is looking up at you like,
Really?
really, please, I'm begging you, just help me, right?
Like, I mean, absolutely. It's the give and take, game, as a community, we continue to learn day by day. But one thing that for me personally, when people reach out to me, I say, hey, listen, let's talk about event fundraisers, especially. Um, the give and take here is this: you can't show up at my fundraiser, right? And you give me $50,
Mhm.
right? But you expect me to show up at yours and give you $2,000.
Mm. Wow.
I think that is what as a community we have to really, really, change.
Yeah.
There's so much. You if you truly believe in, and it's fine. It's $50 is all you have. That's okay.
Yeah.
But the give and take. Another example I have here is, you're starting something, and a lot of times it takes time to build relationship, to collaborate. Go out there, support others, let people know who you are, so that it's vice versa.
Yeah.
You have yours, they also come out and support you.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I just wanted to chime in about that because
No, I mean the exchanges have to be of equal value,
yes,
however how we value it, right?
yes,
Because at the end of the day, for me, it has to be like I can tell when somebody is trying to BS me to really trying to like either get into my circle per se or
Right.
work with me and all this stuff. Like, no, like
Absolutely.
the reality is that eventually rises up to the surface and I see you for who you are, you
Absolutely.
know. But when
Absolutely.
it comes to, the even exchange that we were talking about, it is very important for us to like literally, you know, um, call each other and and invest in each other where we see appropriate. You know, I
Absolutely.
have, eventually gotten to the place where I know again, if you do the numbers, it's like you don't need the entire world to support you in
No,
whatever
you
you're
don't.
doing,
No, you
right?
don't. No, you
What
don't.
you need is cultivate a community of followers, of supporters, of trusted partners and people who can invest in you and you invest in them. Because there's
Absolutely.
this thing of reciprocity where, as you get, you also give. As you get, you give. As you get, you give. And it's just this give and take game that exchanges over and over and over and over. And guess what? You bring other people into the family, into the circle, into the business, into the network, and we spread the wealth. See, it's all about spreading the wealth.
Yes.
It's all about spreading the wealth. Like one of the big things we do at Mission Ball is, it's inviting people to be part of the host committee. And the only way we're able to hit the numbers that we're able to hit is because these lovely water advocates that come in are now inviting other people into the network,
Yes.
right? And as an organization, we are recognizing them for the good work that they're doing.
Right.
So there's this spirit of reciprocity that is taking place, and there's this exchange that is constantly in a fluid fashion taking place where, you know, I want the best for you, so I'm going to show up at your event and I'm going to bring as many people that I can to be part of your event. I want the best for you, Joy, so I'm going to be your personal, publicist without you even asking me because I believe in the work that you're doing. So I'm going to speak loud of MCJT and let people know that she is the best, hire her, you know. But it at the end of the day, it comes back to my favorite word, or at least the word that I really build a lot of things on is like alignment.
Mm.
Are we aligned? You know, and it's okay if we're not aligned. If we're
Yes.
not aligned in vision, if we're not aligned in mindset, if we're not aligned in thoughts, it's okay, right?
Right.
If somebody may not be aligned as to how you MC events, that's fine.
Totally fine, brother.
That's totally fine. But
Yes.
all I really care about is the people that I'm aligned with,
Right.
because through those people we can make moves and grow bigger.
Yes. Woo. Ladies, sorry, we're having some connection issues there. I believe we are back. Bear with us, ladies. We're having some connectivity issues here. Rich, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, sis. How you
All
can
right,
hear me?
let's go. I can hear you. All right,
Okay.
let's take some comments here. Let's see. Linda Ray says, I think it's about capacity limit and capacity building. Oh, yes, sis. It's not necessarily the dollar amount. If you can't match my 2,000, perhaps you can share and tell more people or offer a service. It doesn't necessarily have to be a dollar match.
Absolutely.
Well, absolutely. And
Yeah,
I think
people
I
do get that
I
spoken.
yes, absolutely. I mean, and I truly believe that this is one of the key factors that we as a community need to learn to do. Collaboration. It's not always about money, it's about service, it's about what can I do. And one thing I really love about you, Rich, is one of your statements is what can I do to help? You know, and it's like, hey, what can I do to help? And I'm not going to ask you to drive 3 hours, but the fact that you are willing tells me a lot about you and who you are, and the fact that you do have the best
Yeah.
interest for me and my business.
Yeah.
So let's take a couple more. And Dean says a lot of people are users. Whoo,
Facts.
yes, they are. Yes, they are. The people's GPS said, and some people just want to invade your circle. Oh Lord. We
Facts.
often see those for who they are. Again, authenticity. Absolutely. Authentic. You have call a spade for what it is.
Yeah.
That is the only way, again, that we can grow and continue to change this narrative is
Yeah.
being honest, not in a disrespectful manner, criticize, but positive criticism.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Rich, we just talked about the give and take. Now let's talk leadership. Ooh, there's a lot of CEOs here today. Lots of them. Lots of
I
them.
love
And
it.
personally,
I
I
love it.
I don't like titles because I feel like sometimes people wear titles on their head and shoulders and forget that they are really a person before that title. My husband always says the title is for the office, and once I clock out, it stays there.
Yeah.
I'm saying, and not, his title. So let's talk leadership.
Mm.
As a leader, and you have been a leader for 9 years, and you've worked with your team and built Generosity Global. What are the true qualities of a leader?
I mean, for me, one of the things, again, the people's GPS keep putting in, you got to be authentic.
Yeah,
Just got to be real.
yeah,
Real with yourself, real with your people, and just real with the people that your people that you're trying to serve at the end of the day. um the other things, communication is key. You got to be able to communicate a vision, cast a vision, and let people understand and buy into that vision, because it allows for you to invite others to help you with the pushing and the growth and the
absolutely.
transformation and the impact that you want to create. And if it's a from a business standpoint, the millions that you want to reach. So leadership is not, your title, a title is not, having a title is not a leader.
Mhm.
But it's that person who is willing to humble themselves, stay behind, and push others forward. So say it's not me, but these people are making this thing happen, right? Are you able to dim the light away from you and let others shine, even though they're under your covering? Because that's the hardest thing sometimes for the leaders, like, for the people who are in leadership, is, do I turn down my light and shine that light on somebody else who may be a subordinate? Because I don't necessarily see subordinates, I see leaders alongside me.
Woo,
you
speak.
know we are leading together, like, no, I'm not ahead of you, I need you next to me.
Right.
I don't believe in behind every successful man is a great woman. No, I believe beside every successful man is a great. And you see that girl, she's always by my side, right?
Oh, yes, she is,
you
brother.
know
She
she
is.
she's not behind me. And the same thing for my team, like, no, beside every successful leader, anybody who's in leadership, or maybe sometimes even in front, every successful leader,
Mm,
other great leaders who are leading the charge, who are executing
right,
the vision.
right.
You know, the leader may have the plan, but it's the people that they are working with that are doing the execution. So the leader must be able to guide his or her people to greatness. The leader first needs to know where he or she is going, because if you don't know where you're going, how do you take people to the promised land? You're going to
Absolutely.
be in the wilderness just wandering day in and day out, day in and day out, like people are lost, but people's lives are depending on you,
Right.
right? The leader, in my opinion, must be willing to make greater sacrifices each and every day.
Right.
For those of us who are here, who are in business and all that stuff, we've been in that position where we may have to make a choice between paying a mortgage or paying an employee's paycheck, right?
Woo! Talk,
Yeah.
talk about the hot seat, huh?
you know um it takes heart. You know, you gotta have guts. You gotta have um persistence. You know, my favorite word is keep going.
That's right.
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 That mental fortitude, that mental mindset to say, no matter what, I believe so much in what I am doing that today is not the day that I quit. Today is not the day that I give up. If you believe in what you are doing, if you believe in your mission, if you believe in your passion, if you believe in your purpose, if you believe in your business,
Absolutely.
today is not the day that you quit. We keep going.
We keep going indeed. Woo! Let's see more comments here. Man, uh, let's see. Patty said, I'm at that point now. Yes, sis. It's you gotta keep going, sister. I speak hand. I've seen that work. It is another level. So keep going, keep going, keep going. Please take more comments, questions, send them in. I see a few coming in. So Rich, while we're waiting for a
Bring in
couple
those
more,
questions. Bring those
as
questions.
we're waiting for a couple more questions to come in, you just talked about leadership, and within the event space, what do you, where do you feel, or what do you see that some of these leaders or the people that consider themselves leaders, what are some of those areas that, hey, we need to improve on, just in general, not a specific, just in general, as a community?
Sometimes it just comes down to vision.
Mm,
You know, again, it's just maybe a broad statement, but it comes down to having a big enough vision that people can buy into it.
right.
Other times it may come down to the willingness to sacrifice here and there to ensure that we all win.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
there are, no one is perfect. I don't want to say that. Not we are all learning each and every day how to become better, how to become the best at what we do. But I think for me personally, being able to humble yourself and say, I don't know this and I don't know that, but I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to take feedback. We got a lot of feedback from Mission Ball, right? Some of the things we were aware as to what, could have been better. Some of the things we know that only gives us, better insight as to how to prepare for next year. So, there are people that just don't want to hear any feedback. Like, no, I don't care, right?
Right.
No,
Right.
we don't. We cannot grow if we're not willing to listen. Listening is key.
Right.
And as business operators, as business owners and business, one of the key things for us is in order to have great customer service, great customer experience. Mind you, I said the experience that I want people to have for Mission Ball still has not happened.
Mm.
Yes, I'm still taking notes. I'm still raising money. I'm still needing that $80,000 sponsorship one day where we can like lay out this event where people feel like they're walking on thin air. It's
On
like
cloud
great.
nine, we just catwalking on the clouds, huh?
This year we made people walk through lights. Linda
Yes,
said we're
yes.
gonna walk through lights.
Linda made sure that she showed us that video.
She
Yes,
sure did. She
you
sure did.
nailed it.
I
You
kept that
nailed it.
promise.
You
I
nailed it.
kept that promise.
Yes, you did, brother.
But no, I mean, I one of the biggest for me personally, Joyce, is humility from a leader.
Yeah.
Arrogance doesn't serve anybody, at
Right.
least from my take. No, in my humility, that does not make me weak. If you know me and you know me personally, I'm a beast. I'm a lion. I'm a fighter. You know,
Yes, you are, brother.
I stay low and I keep low. But when I need to get out, I get out, and you will know that I am there.
Mm-hmm.
But I do not need to brag or throw my arrogance and all those things to puff out my chest that I am the CEO. You
Right.
must do what I ask you to do.
Absolutely.
Nah, we don't need that.
Linda said servant leadership. Absolutely.
Yes,
You have to be a servant at the same time, be able to lead.
absolutely.
McBride said, I ask my clients for feedback after every event from my vendors and me.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, and same thing here. Each time I work with a new vendor, hey, it's great working with you. I would love to get feedback from you. Please be honest.
Yep.
And the truth is, that's how we grow. And a lot of people are like, oh, I was like, no. Really be honest with me. Don't tell me, oh, you were good. That's why I was hired, right?
Yep.
They knew I had what it takes, but now I want you to give me your honest feedback so that I get better, because there is always room for improvement.
Absolutely.
Brother, as we start to wrap it up, I just wanted to get your take on, this platform is all about us collaborating, working together, as a community, and going, you've hit some really good things. You hit, the nail on the head on some really great, points. But going forward, season 2, we're no longer going to talk about our issues. What would you say are your last words for the community as a whole? And of course, for those that aspire to also have such fundraisers where, they have visions and missions, but what are your feedback and what are your thoughts for the community and those that aspire to one day have a fundraiser such as Mission Bowl?
Man, since at the end of the day, if you have and you aspire to build greatness, and you're authentic in your approach and you are real, let's link up. That's, for me, I open up my space to anybody who was willing to work and who was willing to grow and who was willing to build.
Absolutely.
Let's just, let's link up, because at the end of the day, it's all about, for us to work together one way or another. I may not be able to use your service today, but I'm able to refer that service to somebody else, right? That's it. Let's continue to have these discussions as to how we become great. Let's not be afraid or shy to share resources or things that can make somebody else even better than what they are today. It requires us, as a community to build, with each other. We're not going to talk about being handpicked. That's a conversation for another day.
Absolutely.
But I think that was very destructive to what is happening in the Cameroon film industry, right? As to how do we sabotage things like that.
Ooh.
That's not necessary.
No, it's not.
But at the end of the day, it's going to be, how do we move together as a unit? How do we build a force where, what, man, I see my sister, I see my brother. I mean, you see me and Stan Lyon. He doesn't, that's my brother, right?
Absolutely.
I believe in the product. I believe in the man. I believe in that. I'm pushing it till the wheels fall off. That's how much I am invested in his success. Your success is my success. That's how much I'm invested in your success. I mean, literally, it's cost me nothing to share something of somebody that I think is doing something great.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it requires that I know you and I trust you, because at the end of the day, when I push that share button, my name is attached to it.
Sweet.
And when I share you to others publicly, please do not embarrass me. Please don't make me look.
For any person out there, don't embarrass anyone, because again, people are coming with
that generally, right? As we come together and as we grow together and as we build together, the reason why we are forming this network is because I want to refer my network out to others.
Absolutely.
Right. So it may be something, there was this one company that I love. I think it was Zappos. It's a shoe company,
yes.
Right?
Online shoe company.
Yeah, online shoe company. I read, the book was pretty neat. One of the things that they did is, when people call them and they, wanted a particular shoe, and Zappos didn't carry that shoe, you know what Zappos did? They found 3 competitors,
wow,
who carried the shoes, and send it to the customers. Say, here's the shoe, go buy it.
Wow.
Now, to the average person, you feel like you're losing business, but no, you have just earned trust. Because if you're willing to sacrifice your business, right, that dollar to make sure that somebody else, I want to do business with you because you know how to do business the right way.
Absolutely. You know what, Rich? You said it. It's trust. And I think that's where a lot of us lack in, right? We don't want to refer someone else because we're afraid that, oh gosh, this person is going to get the business. But it makes you a bigger person. It
Bigger.
makes you, wow, they just referred me to someone else.
Yeah,
Yes. But guess what? Next time they'll come back to you.
absolutely. You were the
They will,
first source. As long as you have the right product, the thing that they were initially attracted to, they will come back to you.
absolutely.
Now they may have a secondary outlet, but that's fine. You referred them to somebody else that you wanted to see win.
Absolutely.
It'll be the same thing because I've seen it happen where somebody may come to stand line, they don't have, he doesn't have, but he will refer them to Connaisseur Paris. Win-win. We're all in the same space. Why need to compete? No, not needed.
Not at all. Not at all. Listen, those last words. Oh, let me take this. Linda says same thing in the coaching space. I don't turn anyone down. I refer people I can accommodate at the moment and provoke a Jesus inquire when you have your next opening. Amen to that.
Yeah.
It's about referring, it's about all of us collaborating, it's about all of us growing together. Together. And I have been so humbled, to be able to have this platform, an amazing team behind me. They don't want names called, but to Solange, to Gwen, Coach Gwen. She's like, girl,
Yes.
you are Coach Gwen. Thank you to all the support, my support team that has been literally pushing me. I'll tell you this hasn't been easy. Okay. It hasn't been easy, but I've learned quite a few things here, being consistent. Same thing goes for your business. You got to come out here and be ready to put in the work, right? And I want to say that this is our last episode for season 1.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Last episode for season 1. Get ready.
Congrats, sis.
Thank you, brother. Thank you to the team. Thank you so much. This is our last episode for season 1. Get ready for season 2. We're no longer talking our problems. You'll be seeing
No.
a lot of collaboration on here. We have some amazing vendors within our community that are doing great things. We will highlight
Sis, you know
them.
what? You know what? Sorry, you know what will be cool?
Go ahead.
You know what will be cool? As she just said, we are no longer talking about our problems.
Yes.
You know what will be cool? And this may require some time planning, and I'm a chip in wherever I can. But really, how about we host a vendor networking event happy hour in person?
I love it. I
You
love it.
know,
I
invite
love
as many vendors as possible.
Yes.
Maybe a discussion, maybe a panel, it may be something where we actually just sit down and just talk
Network.
about the Cameroon vendor industry.
Ooh, I
Just a
like the
thought.
sound of that.
Just a thought.
Absolutely.
I'll
I
put it in
love
your plate now. You run with it, and then we'll see how it transpires.
I love it. I love it. I know the team loves it. And I will say that we did put a challenge to the photography group to start up a meetup. And I know they're working on it. So I will get with them and we will start something. Someone said when is season 2 started, McBride's event, you will be the first to know. But it has been a humbling experience, ladies and gentlemen. It has been so much learning in this process. I was telling Rich that one time, I forgot to change time on StreamYard, and guess what? We went live, and I was like, oh my God, I wasn't ready. This is part of the process. It's a learning process, and I'm so grateful for the team. And in 2 weeks' time, we're gonna have a live show just to talk about how this process was. The goal was 10 episodes. We brought you 16. Wow.
Congrats. Well done.
Goal. And to every guest that was on here, Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so humbled. You know, this is the People's and Vendors Hub. And our goal here is collaborating to create memorable experiences. Thank you for being part of season one. We're excited for season two, and keep those applications coming. Listen, we're going to get the right folks on here because guess what? We're no longer talking about our problems. We are talking how we're collaborating and leveling up. Thank
That's
you
it.
so much. To my brother Rich, thank you for joining us, brother. It's always a pleasure. And thank you for always saying, how can I help? It's something that I truly believe as a community, we need to learn those words. How can I help? How can I help? Because we always need support. We always need someone to help us reach our goals. It doesn't take you, it takes a team, and you never know who you're talking to. So humble yourself, stay humble, keep going. And guess what? See you in season two, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's
Thank you for
go.
joining.
Let's grow.
Season
Congrats.
two is coming to you soon, Andine. You will know when the time is right, but we're doing everything we need to do to ensure that season two is better. And as a community, we can level up because guess what? We only go up from here.
That's it.
That's it, brother. And if my
Bye,
network
everyone.
will stop being so slow, we will have our exit intro. But for now, thank you. You know, the People's GPS, thank you for joining us. Andine, thank you for joining us. Philly, you know, Chef Bianca, that sister is doing some amazing things, working on her own restaurant in the nearest future. Can you imagine?
Yes.
You know,
Crushing it.
and shout out to each and every person that has been behind us. Thank you for joining us. God bless you. This is All Things Events. Is your goal is your girl MCJT humble brother. Thank you. God bless you. Stay
Let's keep
well.
doing it.